let's get into something a little more real. Something I came across this week, thanks to my brother-in-law, that was so hilarious. So hilarious that I thought, wow, I actually have to make a video responding to this. This is a clip from the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It is a clip where Mac, one of the guys in the group, decides to give a brief presentation explaining why he believes that evolution is a lie. And this is one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time, but the arguments he makes in this short clip are actually valid. So, what we're going to do is we're going to watch this whole clip in its entirety. And then, after we do that, we're going to break it down further because I have some input onto the points that Mac makes. So let's start from the beginning. Make sure we're on maximum volume. Looks like we are, and go.
I'm finished, guys. I'm finished. Now, this is all about making myself credible in your eyes again, and I'm going to do that by admitting that evolution is a lie.
God damn you, Mac.
Yes, please do, Mac.
Now, as you can see, this is the evolution meter, and I've put God, the creator of everything, on the right side, and evolution on the left. I've went ahead and put you guys all on the fence because, of course, you're going to hear out my
Actually, no. Just start where I would start.
No matter, I'm righteous. I'm not going to stand here, present some egghead scientific argument based on fact. I'm just a regular dude. I like to drink beer, you know? I love my family. Rock, flag, and eagle, right, Charlie? He's got a point.
No, he doesn't.
What? See, Charlie? These liberals are trying to assassinate my character. And I can't change their mind. I won't change my mind because I don't have to, because I'm an American. I won't change my mind on anything, regardless of the facts that are set out before me. I'm dug in, and I'll never change.
Mac, look, you're wasting our time. You're not going to get us to not believe in evolution.
And why is that?
Because the smartest scientists in the entire world all agree that it's real.
I'm glad you brought that up. Because, Mr. Reynolds, science is a liar sometimes.
Oh, boy.
This is Aristotle, thought to be the smartest man on the planet. He believed that the Earth was the center of the universe, and everybody believed him because he was so smart. Until another smartest guy came around, Galileo, and he disproved that theory, making Aristotle and everybody else on Earth look like a bitch. Of course, Galileo then thought comets were an optical illusion, and there's no way that the moon could cause the ocean's tides. Everybody believed that because he was so smart. He was also wrong, making him and everyone else on Earth look like a bitch again. And then, best of all, Sir Isaac Newton gets born and blows everybody's nips off with his big brains. Of course, he also thought he could turn metal into gold and died eating mercury, making him yet another stupid bitch. Are you seeing a pattern?
No.
Mr. Reynolds, these were all the smartest scientists on the planet. Only problem is they kept being wrong. Sometimes.
Oh, this is insane, you fool.
I'm a fool because I have more faith in the saints that wrote the Bible?
Yeah, because you just read the words of a bunch of guys that you never met, and you just take it on faith that everything they wrote was true.
And what makes you think what your scientists are writing is any more truer than my saints?
Because there are volumes of proven data, numbers, figures. There are fossil records.
Oh, fossil records. I didn't even think about the fossil records. I guess I'll concede. Oh, wait, one more thing before I do, Mr. Reynolds. Have you seen these fossil records?
Have I? Huh?
Have you poured through the data yourself? The numbers, the figures?
Well, no. No.
Oh, interesting. So let me get this straight, Mr. Reynolds. You get your information from a book written by men you've never met, and you take their words as truth based on a willingness to believe, a desire to accept, a leap of, dare I say it, faith?
Come on. Look, I don't even know how I'm supposed to respond to that. Come on. That's a false equivalency.
Just answer the question, Mr. Reynolds.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I rest my case.
Oh, that got me. Yeah.
Frank, do you want me to?
Put me over.
Yeah, all right. What? Well, we're going on the fence. I mean, that's a shadow on the doubt.
You actually don't believe in evolution anymore?
I don't know. He created a reasonable doubt. He makes you sound like a stupid science bitch.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I laughed so hard the first time I saw that this week after my brother-in-law sent me a shorter version of it. I was just like, oh, I can't believe Hollywood actually put this out there for the world to see. And the part that makes it especially hilarious is that the two main arguments that Mac made are actually valid arguments, even though they were presented in a crude and humorous form. Notice the first point that Mac brought up. His friend says, oh, well, the reason why evolution is true is because all of the smartest scientists in the world say that it's true. And then what Mac does is he goes on to explain how, in his words, science is a liar sometimes. Translation, sometimes the smartest scientists in the world are wrong about a scientific theory that they are proclaiming as truth. Now, when Mr. Reynolds said that evolution was true because the smartest scientists in the world said that it's true, he's actually committing a logical fallacy. It is the appeal to authority fallacy. The appeal to authority fallacy is when you say that something is true because an authority figure or group of authority figures say that something is true. And Mac did a brilliant and hilarious job of explaining why that logical fallacy is a logical fallacy. Authority figures are sometimes wrong, and science ones are no exception. So, because of that, it is a logical fallacy to say that something like evolution is true simply because an authority figure or a group of authority figures or the majority of scientists say that it's true. Now, what was the other argument that Mr. Reynolds brought up that Mac completely shot down? Mr. Reynolds said that the only reason Mac disbelieved in evolution and believed in the Bible is because Mac believed the writings of men that he never met and basically had no way to validate whether what they were saying was true or not. But then Mac turned it right back on Mr. Reynolds, pointing out that, hey, you believe in evolution because you believe the writings of some evolutionist authority figure who claimed to you that evolution was true because of the fossil record. You didn't investigate the fossil record for yourself. You didn't look at the data for yourself. You just believed what the authority figure was telling you was true. And that is actually a problem with the atheist evolutionist community. They love to run their mouth all day about how Christians and creationists like myself, well, we just have blind, gullible faith, and we have to throw out everything we observe in reality in order to believe what we believe, and that we have to do that in order to believe in our worldview. Of course, the truth of the matter is that most evolutionists and atheists, I would say the vast majority of them, they don't do any kind of fact checking into their own worldview or to what their authority figures who tell them that evolution is true are saying. No. They read the words of these guys in articles, they listen to them on podcasts, they watch them on videos on the internet, and they believe what they say, and then they regurgitate what they say. They don't actually fact check them. They don't look at the data for themselves to figure out if what their favorite evolutionist is telling them is true or not. And you see, someone like me is a lot different than the atheist and evolutionist because not only do I have to know what my own camp is saying about an issue, but I have to look at what the evolutionists are saying about the same issue in order to accurately represent what they say about the issue and then expose why it's wrong. I am exposing myself to both sides of the aisle when it comes to the creation evolution debate and the arguments I make about evolution. I expose myself to both sides of the aisle, and I have a very informed opinion when I make one about evolution. But since the fossil records were brought up, I would point out that Mac's argument response to the fossil record claim by Mr. Reynolds actually didn't go far enough. It's actually worse than is portrayed here in this clip from the show. The fossil record actually looks exactly how it's supposed to if young Earth creationism is true. What do I mean by that? Now, back in the early 80s, there was an evolutionist named Douglas Futuyima who wrote a book called Evolution on Trial. And to summarize it, basically, it was an apologetics book defending the truthfulness of the evolutionary atheistic worldview and debunking, allegedly, young Earth creationism. And there's a passage in this book where Douglas Futuyima actually predicted what the fossil record would look like, or would have to look like, for young Earth creationism to be true. He said that if young Earth creationism is true, then when we look at the fossil record, we should see that most, if not all, of the animals and animal groups entered the fossil record fully formed, fully developed, without any evolutionary history behind them. Flash forward to 1986, I believe it is, when Richard Dawkins put out his book, The Blind Watchmaker, and there's a passage in his book where Richard Dawkins himself, one of the heads of the new atheist movement that came into existence over the last several decades, Richard Dawkins himself said that when you look at the fossil record, you see that the majority of animals and animal groups entered the fossil record fully formed, fully developed, without any evolutionary history at all, almost as if they were just planted there. And Richard Dawkins went on to say that this would no doubt delight the creationists. Well, no duh, Richard Dawkins. You simply confirmed that the fossil record looks exactly how it should if young Earth creationism is true, according to one of your fellow evolutionists, Douglas Futuyima. One of the things that evolutionists and atheists like to say about young Earth creationism is that young Earth creationism has no predictive power like evolution does, but Douglas Futuyima and Richard Dawkins proved that that's a load of bunk. An evolutionist predicted what the fossil record would look like if young Earth creationism was true, and it was an atheist evolutionist, Richard Dawkins, who confirmed just a few years later that yes, the fossil record looks exactly like that. It looks exactly how it should if young Earth creationism is true. So when the enemies of young Earth creationism are saying that the fossil record looks exactly how it should if young Earth creationism is true, then obviously young Earth creationism has predictive power. But yes, that is the real truth about the fossil record when it comes to the evolution versus creation debate. The fossil record is well, not the strongest, but one of the strongest evidences for young Earth creationism. It actually is proof of young Earth creationism, according to atheists and evolutionists from the 1980s. But anyway, I got a little off track there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching that clip of the show, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and my analysis of it.